He says, جاء يحيى بن معين إلى عفان وابن مسلم الصفار ليسمع منه كتب حماد بن سلمة فقال له ما سمعتها من أحد؟ قال نعم حدثني 17 نفسا عن حماد بن سلمة فقال والله لا حدثتك فقال إنما هو درهم وأنحدر إلى البصرة فأسمع من التبوذكي فقال شأنك. This is the story. Ibn Ma'in comes to Affan bin Muslim. Affan bin Muslim is a student of Hammad. So just draw this out. You have Hammad bin Salama. Hammad bin Salama is one of the famous narrators from Thabit al-Bunani. Thabit al-Bunani is one of the greatest students of Al-Imam Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu ta'ala an. طيب. Hammad bin Salama has a number of students. طيب. Yahya bin Ma'in is not in the tabaqa of the students of Hammad. Meaning he came later on, right? So Hammad bin Salama has his number of students. Yahya bin Ma'in came later on. He is in a lower tabaqa. We'll put him over here. Yahya bin Ma'in travels to Affan ibn Muslim al-Saffar. Affan bin Muslim, like I mentioned, narrates from Hammad bin Salama. So Affan asked Yahya bin Ma'in, haven't you heard the narrations of Hammad from anyone else? Yahya bin Ma'in says, yes. I've heard it from 17 people. 17 people I've heard these narrations of Hammad from. So Affan says, you're playing with me. You've already heard his narrations. Why would I narrate to you? He says, I'm not going to narrate to you. So Yahya bin Ma'in says, alright, that's not an issue. I'm just going to go spend some money. And this is how the muhaddithin of the past were. They would spend everything they had in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to spend some money. I'm going to go to Musa ibn Ismail al-Tabudaki. Musa ibn Ismail, who also narrates from Hammad bin Salama, and I will hear his narrations. So he goes to Musa ibn Ismail, and Musa ibn Ismail al-Tabudaki says, فقال له موسى لم تسمع هذه الكتب من أحد? Haven't you narrated or haven't you heard any of these books of Hammad bin Salama from anyone else? قال سمعتها على الوجه من 17 نفسا وأنت 18. I've already heard it from 17. You are the 18th. So Musa ibn Ismail looks at him and says, وَمَا تَصْنَعُ بِهَذَا? Like, what's the point of this? Why are you doing all this? فقال, so he says, إِنَّ حَمَّادَ بْنَ سَلَمَةَ كَانَ يُخْطِئ. Hammad bin Salama would make mistakes. From time to time, he would make mistakes. Now, keep this in mind. Hammad bin Salama, when he narrates from Thabit, he's extremely strong. We'll explain this later on. When he narrates from Thabit, he's extremely strong. But his other narrations do have a degree of problems with them. So he says, Hammad bin Salama would make mistakes. فَأَرَدْتُ أَنْ أُمَيِّزَ خَطَأَهُ مِنْ خَطَأِ غَيْرِي. I wanted to determine, where is Hammad making a mistake? Where are others making a mistake? فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُ أَصْحَابَهُ قَدْ اجْتَمَعُوا عَلَى شَيْءٍ. If I find all of the students, they're all narrating one thing. The 17th, along with Musa ibn Ismail al-Tabudaki, the 18th. You're all narrating one thing from Hammad. But a contemporary or multiple contemporaries of Hammad are narrating else from his teacher. Then in this scenario, Hammad bin Salama is the one who made the mistake. فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُ أَصْحَابَهُ قَدْ اجْتَمَعُوا عَلَى شَيْءٍ عَلِمْتُ أَنَّ الْخَطَأَ مِنْ حَمَّادٍ نَفْسِهِ. I know that the mistake came from Hammad himself. وَإِذَا اجْتَمَعُوا عَلَى شَيْءٍ مِنْ or عَلَى شَيْءٍ عَنْ. But if they all narrate, all these 17 for instance, let's assume from these 17, 16 of them all narrate one thing from Hammad. And you yourself, Musa ibn Ismail, you also narrate one thing from Hammad. وَقَالَ وَاحِدٌ مِّنْهُمْ بِخِلَافِهِمْ. But one of these 17, he says something else. عَلِمْتُ أَنَّ الْخَطَأَ مِنْهُ لَا مِنْ حَمَّادٍ. I will understand that the mistake came from that narrator, not from Hammad bin Salama himself. فَأُمَيِّزُ بَيْنَ مَا أَخْطَأَ هُوَ بِنَفْسِهِ وَبَيْنَ مَا أُخْطِيَ عَلَيْهِ. I will be able to determine and distinguish between that in which he himself made a mistake and that which another student of his made a mistake upon him.